Uncertainty is the word of the day for anyone who gets federal funding. Today, the Office of Budget Management rescinded a memo calling for a federal funding freeze after a judge put a temporary block on that freeze.
But the White House clarified it is still working on a broader effort to cut back on federal funding. What we know for sure tonight is that one local agency that relies on federal dollars isn't taking any chances. As News 5 reporter Nadine Abasada shows us, it is taking action to raise some money.
I think it's going to be a lot of back and forth this week, this year, upcoming years.
Early Wednesday in the U.S. Committee for Refugees and Immigrants office, the tally on the wall depicted the uncertainty in the room.
Feeling stressed, overwhelmed, and devastated for everything that's happening.
We were compiling outside resources, community resources in the event we aren't able to serve them.
Megan Brown and Victoria Skubiak got into refugee resettlement work because of their passion to serve.
I think just because it has such a deep impact on our communities.
I still remember how confusing and challenging it was to be in a new country without the language and have no organization to help you out.
But following President Trump's executive orders and the Office of Budget and Management's memo freezing federal funding, USCRI's Field Office Director Darren Ham didn't know who would have a job.
So are you going to have to lay off your staff?
There's a very good chance all of us are going to face, not just USCRI, but all of us within the industry, and sometimes even within that larger context, will face layoffs, furloughs, reductions in workforce all around.
With 75 to 90% of their funding coming from federal dollars, USCRI has been emergency fundraising because that major loss doesn't just impact the staff, but also the more than 200 refugees they serve here in Northeast Ohio.
Clients will be at risk of eviction when they don't have rent money, hunger when they don't have food money, health issues.
Then mid-afternoon Wednesday, the OMB rescinded the memo calling for that federal funding freeze.
Well, that changed pretty quickly.
Yes, very fast.
So what does this mean?
It means we get right back to work as planned, which is good. The individuals who can no longer be served under our reception and placement program, we're still fundraising for and providing some immediate assistance today.
But that doesn't change the efforts and emergency fundraising USCRI is doing.
The best phrase is just temporary relief. We are just prepared for this to be an ongoing back and forth.
I think we don't know what's going to happen, but we know that we're going to have a little bit more time to get everything organized.
With much uncertainty still ahead, Darren says their battle continues as they keep serving those they can with the resources they have.
People show up every day not to get rich. They show up because they feel an obligation to this sort of service to another human being in need.
Reporting in Cleveland, Nadine Abasada, News 5.